So the librarian walked us through how to use the databases and search those for articles. I wanted to start at the library's homepage and show you two specific things. So first of all, to get to the library's homepage, if you're at MiraCosta College's homepage, their library is one of the top links there. You can click on it. It's library.miracosta.edu. At the homepage, if you're doing your research and you get stuck, you can chat with a librarian 24/7, right? So any questions, like your search terms aren't working, they can help you find sources. They'll ask you for some information, point you in some directions, do some research with you. The 24/7 feature, it's not always a MiraCosta librarian, right? Because they go home and go to sleep, but there's someone who knows how to navigate the MiraCosta databases and library site that can help you. So that is always an option. Any time of the day you have to work on this, someone will be there. Okay, so the thing, searching here, it's sort of like a Google feature and it brings back a ton of results and it's really confusing. To search the ebooks, right, click on the menu link, go to books, and then scroll down here to, it's similar to the database, right? Like it takes you into an EBSCO one. This is different from the EBSCO that the other one, but the one the librarian shows you takes you into, right? EBSCOhost is sort of like a browser, whether you're using Safari or Firefox or Google Chrome, right? Like all the different browsers. That's what EBSCOhost does. And then you'll have like different names of databases that are being searched down here. So that's just something to note that it might look exactly the same, but you're in different places a lot of the time. So just be aware of that. Okay, so here searching ebooks. If I just go super broad with like Civil War, hit enter, I have like over 3,000 results. So I could clearly add more search terms and narrow it down, but you guys can figure that out with what works for you. What I want to show you, so here's one, Northern Homefront during the Civil War. So I could click directly on PDF, click on table of contents, right? If I click here, I can read the quick little abstract explaining it, and then I can also access the table of contents down here. So the way we use a book is like, we don't have to read the whole book. That's ridiculous, right? We can go to the index and look at the key terms that are used there. And that will direct us back to places in the book that might be more helpful to us. Right? So think about, okay, African Americans are being talked here, abolitionists here. Right? Scrolling down children, they're being talked about on these pages, right? We can go to the specific pages. So that's one way to use book sources. Okay, going back to our table of contents. The other thing is just looking at our chapter titles and thinking about, based on, I mean, these relate to several topics that I've seen, you guys focusing on, and clicking on one that's like helpful. So chapter 6, incomplete families. If you click on that, again, the book's all here online. It takes you to that chapter that's talking about that issue. We get a couple different subtitles. Right, we can read through, find information that's helpful for us, right? Soldiers' Wives, Family Economy. So both of those were, well, one was connected to funds. Worried wives miss their husbands, right? We have all these different sub areas within this chapter talking about the like incomplete families and what that did during the Civil War. So there are a lot of ebooks that can be really helpful, so we don't have to just limit ourselves to the articles in the database, right? You go in and you can treat this book, right? Like you can treat one chapter as the equivalent of one source, or using like the index and pulling pieces from several different chapters that are talking about your specific issue and addressing your question. So just know that there is a huge resource here. And again, you can put in specific terms to help you. One thing to be aware of is, like here, impacts of the English Civil War on the economy of London, right? This is not our Civil War, so just make sure we're talking about the right Civil War. You also might notice that might be something that comes up in the database. If you're doing a broader search, that sometimes other countries' civil wars are being discussed. So use books. They're great.